Hola amigos, bienvenidos a un nuevo video del Pájaro Picón. Ahora tenemos a una invitada muy especial. Ustedes me la habían estado pidiendo desde que comenzó la Copa Oro. Una de los nuevos refuerzos, por decirlo así, que tuvo la Selecta femenina para esta Copa. Han habido muchas noticias sobre ella, tiene muchos fans. Yo me fijé por todas las interacciones que hubieron en nuestras redes sociales, tanto en Facebook, en Twitter, en Instagram, ahora también que estamos en YouTube. Así que aquí está con ustedes Samantha Fisher. Thank you for being here. And we're going to do this in English. Vamos a hacerlo en inglés, pero les vamos a dejar como la traducción de lo que ella vaya diciendo para los que no son bilingües. Ella nos dio su tiempo para estar aquí con todos ustedes, para que ustedes la conozcan un poquito más. Me mandaron un par de preguntas por ahí que le vamos a hacer a ella. So Sam, welcome to our channel.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So where are you right now? I saw you at the Clippers games.
Yeah. So right now I'm back home in Los Angeles. Um, and I've always grown up a Clipper fan, so it was like one of the first things I did when I got back here with my family. And yeah, so I'm back home while I figure things out.
You were born in the United States, right?
Yes, correct.
But is it your mom that was born in El Salvador?
Yeah, my mom was born in El Salvador.
People are asking me already, like, what part of El Salvador is she from? Like, they want to know your roots a little more, I guess.
Yeah. So she's from Sonsonate. That's where a lot of my family that still lives out there is from, and is still living there. So when I went to El Salvador for camp before the Gold Cup, my mom actually came with me. And so she got to go spend a lot of time with the family out there, and they came to a lot of our practices. So I got to meet a lot of people. And yeah, it was really special.
Nice. Well, I'm from Sonsonate too. I can tell you that there's a lot of great soccer players. People love soccer. They're futboleros, 100%. Have you been to El Salvador before you joined the camp? I was there in January for the Inter Miami El Salvador game,
Mm.
and I wasn't really planning to be there, but I got to see you like training right at noon under the heat in that synthetic field. But before that, have you been to El Salvador, or that was your like first experience?
That was my first experience going to El Salvador. It was great. It was definitely hot. But I knew that it was going to be going down there. And yeah, it was a really great experience, honestly. I was there for about a week and then um yeah, met all the girls, met most of the girls and trained on the turf. And I think my body took a little bit of time to adjust to that, but
Like
it's
that.
a great experience and I'm excited to go back.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear. So you're learning a little bit of Spanish now, because I heard the training session and the coach Eric Acuña, he was like speaking in English, like doing it like I guess in English and Spanish. So what's the dynamic there? Like you feel welcomed, you feel comfortable. I know there's other girls too that travel from the US to El Salvador, but you can tell me more about your experience from within.
Um, I have been welcomed so greatly by the team, by the girls and the coaches. I am learning Spanish still. I do understand it fairly well, but I need to get more confident speaking it. And the girls are super great. They'll help like translate in meetings and stuff like that when needed. And yeah, so
Awesome.
I still know what's going on sometimes.
So how was that initial approach? Like, I don't think a lot of us knew about you having the possibility of joining the team. I saw a picture once of you at the consulate, I think, getting the passport, and I think that's when everyone kind of found out. Um, and then all of a sudden you're at the camp training with with the team. How was that initial approach? Was it the coach? Or was it someone from your family that,
Yeah, I can see how it would seem very sudden that I'm joining the team, but honestly, it's something that I've been thinking about for a while now.
okay,
One of my trainers that I grew up with, he's known me since I was probably like 5 years old. He's also Salvadoran. His name's Willie Diaz. He's a coach here in Southern California. So he's also Salvadoran, and he had some
Okay.
connections, and we were talking, and I was like, look, I think it's time to do this. And so he was like, let me make some calls. And the next week I was
Oh,
getting my passport and everything needed. And so it's a big, big shout out to him for kind of helping me in this process. And then, yeah, right from there, talked to the coach. He told me what I needed to do. And then I was heading down to El Salvador.
I'm always curious because we're like in this globalized football or soccer world now where like you hear news every day about a player from Spain that's joining the Morocco team or the Dominican team and or US and Mexico, US and El Salvador. That there's a lot of that recently. Hearing from you, it's really interesting that it took you a long time to say, all right, now is the right time. And sometimes us as fans, and I include myself, we want to like maybe rush things because we're fans, we love the team, we want to see the team win. And once we hear like, oh, there's a player in MLS or like NWSL, like she should join the team now. Like, what is she waiting for? She's not feeling the colors. She's not like a true Salvadorian, whatever that means. But I think we also have to see that side of the player. When you say, you didn't feel ready, like you were waiting for the right time. I think as us fans have to respect that. So, hey, shout out to Willie for telling you, hey, it's time now, and I'm glad it
Yeah.
happened.
I can definitely see how, like, from a fan's perspective too, it would seem like like what's taking so long, or like what took so long. I think I was fairly new to like the professional scene also. Like I had just finished my second year, and that transition to the pro level is a lot more than just on the field. And so I think
Okay.
mentally, um, I finally got to a place where I was ready to add in the international level and feel like my skill set was ready to do that.
Ok, espero que estén tomando nota de esto, porque creo que es muy importante, porque es algo que va a seguir pasando con nuevos jugadores. Recuerdo cuando pasó el caso Tomás Romero. I was just mentioning the Tomás Romero from LA when he was at LAFC, the goalkeeper. People were like, okay, is he waiting for the US to call him? What's taking so long? And then now Nathan Ordaz too from LAFC. It's like the new case that everyone's talking about. And so you were in college. You went to Notre Dame, right? And then from there, you jumped into the NWSL. Is that correct?
Yes, I spent 4.5 seasons at Notre Dame, and then I got drafted by Chicago in 2022. So went right from there to Chicago.
That's impressive, and I'm proud of you because I know that's a big school. Not everyone can get into Notre Dame. So shout outs to you. Tell me, how was the experience of being at the Gold Cup? Was it what you expected? Did you feel comfortable playing with the team? How was the feeling, like the fans in Texas being there, like singing the national team? Tell me in a little bit, like how was that experience at the Gold Cup?
I mean, my experience was insane. Um, it was a roller coaster for sure, and we had great fans in Texas for all the games, and also got to bring it back to when we played here in LA for our play-in game.
Yes.
And how amazing the fan base was there also. I think that really was a huge advantage for us. Like as players, we could feel the energy from the fans. And for my first international game for El Salvador to be in Los Angeles, where I'm from, with
Yeah.
the fan base here in Los Angeles of Salvadorans, was like I couldn't ask for anything better, and obviously to get that win on top of it was insane. And then going down to Houston, we obviously were playing like Canada, a very big team. And so we had to shift our mindset a little bit, be like, this is business now. Like we have 3 games. And like, unfortunately, obviously, we didn't get the results that we wanted. But
Hmm.
I think I think you guys could see also as the tournament kind of progressed, like our team became
Yes.
more comfortable with one another. And we had a few new pieces, including myself, to that team. I think going forward, you'll just see like us getting better and better. But there was a bit of like a learning curve, as there is with any new thing that you do. And
I
like for
bet.
me personally, I was playing a bit of a new position at forward, and then a new system as well. our last game versus Paraguay, I moved back to Central Mid, which is where I have always kind of played. And personally, I felt a lot more comfortable there.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously I'm gonna do whatever like coach thinks is best for the team.
yeah, that was gonna be my next question, like the positioning where you felt most comfortable, obviously respecting the decision from the coach, but I could tell like the difference between you being a forward, kind of like what we call like a false nine, I guess, because against Guatemala, because in the end it was Brenda Seren who scored all the goals, but I know you kept like the defense busy. So I kind of interpreted it that way. But then seeing you play against Paraguay in a different position, I'm like, I could tell like this is exactly where she feels comfortable. So now after the Gold Cup happened, the news where the okay, it was kind of heartbreaking to all of us to hear that you were no longer part of the Chicago Red Stars. I also saw that a girl from Puerto Rico who also played in the Gold Cup is no longer with the team. How do you feel about that? And like, what's the future for you? Like, what are the plans for you this year?
Yeah, I was coming off of such a high with El Salvador, coming off Gold Cup and that experience. And then my first day back with Chicago, it was even before our practice. I hadn't even said hi to everyone yet on the team. Um, Called me in for a meeting and basically just said like they were not going to be moving forward with me and they're going to take the team in a different direction. I was pretty shocked just because I didn't feel like there was a lot of communication. Um, and obviously I had spent so much time. I spent 2 years with the club now. I felt like there was a lot of work that had been put in over the years. But these things happen, and it's unfortunately the reality of professional sports. Um, I'm still confident in myself and my abilities that I will find a new team. I'm in the process now of finding that new team going forward
Okay,
and
good.
just getting all the options on the table before I make a decision.
Do you think that the being at the Gold Cup had to do with you not being part of the Chicago Red Stars anymore? Or like how do you feel about it if you don't mind me asking?
I did miss a big chunk of preseason to play in the Gold Cup for El Salvador. I would make that decision every single time, even if that
Okay.
was the outcome. Um,
Hey, I have
Thank
to
you.
clap and stand up for you for that.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that I was very proud to do, and especially now seeing all the support that I've gotten from the fans, it just confirms my decision even more. Um, and that gives me like a lot of hope for myself and for my future going forward. So I do want to say thank you for all that support that I've gotten. It hasn't gone unnoticed and it means like a whole lot to me. So
Awesome.
especially in like this time, like the support has really carried me a long way.
Hey,
Um,
on behalf of all the fans, like 6 million in El Salvador and maybe 3, 4 million outside of El Salvador, I gotta say thank you because that means a lot to me. You're gonna make me cry right now. I'm not lying because losing your job to play with the national team means a lot. And the fact that you're like, I would do it again, and the love that I have for the country, for the team, and because I wouldn't expect everyone to say that, but the fact that you just went to El Salvador for the first time like 3 months ago, and now you're like so attached to it. It's great to hear, and I wish you the best. Like I'm sure new opportunities, new doors will open. There's fans telling me, hey, she should go to Mexico to play with like Brenda or at Atlas or Necaxa or
mhm.
is that a possibility, or do you want to stay within the NWSL, which is kind of like the MLS for the women's soccer?
Yeah, I'm open to anything and everything right now. I do think it would be awesome to play in Mexico, especially maybe with like a teammate that I know from El Salvador. Um, Definitely looking at all the options right now, and it's a little
Okay.
tricky timing wise of teams in Mexico and their season, and obviously NWSL starting right now, so it's a bit tough.
So just to kind of end the video, like, is there anything else you want to tell the fans? Like you kind of already mentioned saying that how grateful you are. I saw a lot of support for you when I posted the news on Saturday. They were like, just on like Facebook, there were like I think I shared it as a story on Instagram, but on Facebook there's like over 700 comments, and everyone's like, hey, don't worry, like we got your back, we support you. And so just to kind of end the video there, maybe one last message to all the fans.
To be completely honest, I didn't know how everyone was going to take the news about me being released. Um, but again, to see like the amount of support and positive messages I've gotten, it means so much to me. It motivates me that much more. Um, and I will give everything I have like to the Salvador national team and La Selecta, and like that won't ever change. So I'm excited for the future. I'm excited to meet more fans, to play in El Salvador.
So we'll end it here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sam, for accepting the invite to be on our channel. Hopefully, we can talk to you again once you have a new team. But keep enjoying the rest of this break that you have, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Muchas gracias a todos por su sintonía con este video. Espero les haya gustado. No se les olvide dejar su comentario. No se les olvide suscribirse a nuestro canal. Muchas gracias. Hasta aquí todo por hoy.